Getting help.
Well, I think it was probably the first thing that instigated, for my mother anyway, was the care package which she now receives, but she's always been fairly independent, and one of the problems was getting her to accept help. But a crisis arose very early on where she needed help to get tucked in at night and put to bed. But from that, I'm not saying floodgates, but it certainly opened the introduction to all the help that she presently receives. And it doesn't seem to have taken away any of that independence that she had, and she now is more willing to accept it. So that in itself was a blessing. Just whatever it was just to introduce it, which took a lot of pressure off of us and also helped her, I think, from now until the present time.
Community care services.
A person with dementia has a right to a community care assessment from the social work department. Call them to ask for an assessment. They'll visit you, a social worker or another professional will visit and find out all about the sorts of services and support that will help the person with dementia continue to live their life. You, separately, have a right to a carer's assessment from the social work department. So ask for that too, to work out what would support you to carry on caring.
If the assessment shows that the person with dementia needs services, they will get a care plan with details of a package of care. Alternatively, if you have a power of attorney or guardianship order for the person, you can ask on their behalf for self-directed support, also known as a direct payment. SDS is about having more choice and control over your support. There are 4 available options of SDS, which let you choose the level of control and how it is arranged. Councils have a duty to tell everyone with eligible needs about the options. Home care services offer help with personal care, such as eating, getting dressed, or other activities like shopping. They might also give you a bit of time off, or can help someone who lives alone to cope safely for as long as possible. Private care agencies can also provide care at home. Some voluntary organisations, such as Crossroads or Alzheimer's Scotland, run schemes in many areas, providing trained support workers for care and stimulating activities or outings. If the person you care for has Down syndrome or a learning disability and dementia, Down Syndrome Scotland and other learning disability organisations may be able to help you find the right support. A place at a day centre can give the person with dementia a chance to socialise and stay active.
My mother didn't want to go to the day centre at all, but I persuaded her to try it and went along for the first couple of times. She loves it now. She goes on outings, paints, plays games. The time off helps me cope.
Caring for someone with dementia can be tiring and often stressful. A respite break, for example, when the person with dementia goes into a care home for a few days or a week or two, will give you the chance to recharge. Other kinds of respite breaks are available too. For example, extra care at home while you go away. Or you can ask about a direct payment to give you and the person a holiday together, so that someone else does the cooking while you can relax. Talk to the social work department about respite. You may be able to arrange regular breaks. If the person you care for can afford it, there is also the option of private respite in a care home. It may be that the person with dementia may not want to accept a service. Talk to them about the service you think may help. Suggest a trial period. Offer to be there the first few times. If they're worried about a respite break, reassure them that it's just a holiday, that they will be coming home again. Free personal care and charges for care services. If the person with dementia is over 65 and is assessed as needing help at home with personal care such as washing, eating or going to the toilet, this will be provided free. If they are under 65, they may have to pay. They may still need to pay for other things such as daycare, meals housework or respite care. Health services for people with dementia. If you are concerned about the physical or mental health of the person you care for, talk to the family doctor. If there is a lot to discuss, ask for a double appointment. If you require an interpreter, say this when you make an appointment, and the surgery will arrange this. Make a list before you go, so that you remember everything. It's important not to assume any change is due to dementia. For example, if the person is suddenly more confused, they may have an infection which needs to be treated. The GP may refer the person to a hospital specialist for assessment or treatment. They may be offered a place at a day hospital or a stay in an assessment unit, for example if they have especially troubling problems, such as hallucinations or aggression. Information and support. The Dementia Helpline on 0808 808 3000 offers confidential information and support 24 hours a day, and all calls from landlines are free. They can access interpretation to other languages. You can also contact them by email on helpline@ulscott.org. Use them to find out about other support near you, such as carers support groups, courses for carers covering how to cope, what help is available, financial and legal matters, and dealing with stress. Independent advocacy services to make sure their views are represented. Your GP practice can also provide leaflets, videos, and information on local groups. You may be worried about what would happen to the person you look after if you were involved in an accident or taken ill. Get a carer's emergency card from the Dementia Helpline. The people who help.
We had a range of different supports. That wasn't easy because Mum was a very private person and she found it very difficult really to invite what are really strangers into her private world. So we had to take things very, very slowly. And I found that Alzheimer's Scotland support staff were very good at being quite gentle and persistent, not being too sort of heavy-handed when they were coming in and helping her. And they just took a long time to build up a relationship and allow at her own pace for them to gradually do more to help. We also had assistance from practice nurses and district nurses to help with some of the more medical aspects of her condition. But I think just as important was really the help that we got from people that were just part of Mum's natural world. You know, her neighbours, the sister that visited regularly, and that meant sort of making sure that she was still doing everyday things that were familiar to her, so that the neighbour that would call in early in the morning to check that she was all right, the support worker taking her to a local store to buy her groceries so that she'd be bumping into people that she knew in the street and chatting. That, to us as a family, felt just as important as the kind of supports that were more professional. But I think they all worked together to give her a circle of support. We also find it very helpful to get in touch with the Dementia Helpline, where especially times where we found that we just weren't managing to come up with any ideas that worked. It was really useful to talk things through with somebody that really seemed to understand.